Today in this 2011 Ford Edge, we'll be having a look at and showing you how to install the Roadmaster Brake-Lite Relay Kit for towed vehicles, part number RM-88400. So when we don't have a brake light relay installed on our towed vehicle, when we are towing it behind our motorhome and our turn signal is on and then our brakes are depressed, we have the issue of our brake lights coming on our towed vehicle overriding the turn signal from our motorhome. Now with the brake light relay installed and operating, when we step on the brakes on our RV with our turn signal on, our brake signal does not override the turn signal function when the brakes are applied inside of our towed vehicles with the supplemental braking system. Now that we've gone over some features, we'll show you how to get it installed. To begin our install, we need to locate our vehicle's brake light switch. We will find that on the driver's side of our vehicle, underneath the dash, connected to our brake pedal. Okay, this right here is our brake light switch. Now, we need to determine which wire coming off of our brake light switch is the cold side, and what that means is that we only have power flowing through it when the brake pedal is depressed. Now, you'll want to check this with a multimeter. I have a multimeter hooked up to one of our wires right now, and what we're looking for is 12 volts when the pedal is depressed and nothing when your foot is not on the brake pedal. So I'll press on the pedal now, and we had 12 volts. Off, we have nothing. Now I have this hooked up to a purple wire with a white stripe. The issue that we have is that there are two purple wires with a white stripe going to the same terminal on the brake light switch. One of these wires is for the actual brake light output on your vehicle. The other wire is for your bulb out indicator, so if you had a burned out brake light bulb, you'll get an error message on your dash telling you, hey, your left brake light or your right brake light is out. We only want to cut the wire that provides power to our brake lights, not the indicator. That way our bulb out indicator will still function as normal. Now, if you have access to a factory service manual or a wiring diagram, you can figure out which wire is for each purpose. Now, since we don't have that information, the best way to do this is to cut one of these wires and have someone step on your brake pedal and see if your brake lights come on. If they still come on while your brake pedal is depressed with the wire cut, you will need to reattach those wires together with a butt connector and then make your connections using the other purple and white wire. So we'll cut one of the wires. And we'll test. Okay, so we have the wire cut now. I'm pressing on the brake pedal, and we verified that our brake lights are not coming on right now. So we only cut one wire, we got lucky, and we know we have the proper wire now. Okay, now that we have determined which wire we need to make our connections with, we can disconnect our brake light switch from the wiring harness by pressing on this tab here and separating the two connectors. Now we will strip back insulation from both ends of our wires. Now if you're using a supplemental braking system like we are that has an indicator light that needs to tie in to the cold side of the brake light switch, you'll need to use your wire with this connection for that. That's what this excess red wire is for. We'll tie that in with our purple and white wire closest to our brake light switch. Take one of our included butt connectors, stick it onto those two wires, and we'll crimp it into place. This is our socket for our relay that we're installing. There are 5 wires that come off the back of it. We'll only be needing to use 4 of them in this particular application. Since our vehicle does not have a push button start, we do not need the blue wire that goes to the middle. So we can grab it and pull it out to separate it That way, we don't have to worry about it making contact with anything, and it's out of the way. We'll take our green wire now, put it into the other side of our butt connector, and we'll crimp that into place. Take another butt connector, put it on the other end of our purple and white wire, crimp it, and this will get our black wire from our relay harness. We'll crimp that down. Okay, now if we look over towards our driver's side kick panel, we'll locate a panel here which covers up our fuse box. We'll slide the lock towards the front of the car, grab the panel, pull back, lift up, set it aside. Now we'll locate our fuse box right here. We have a cover we need to take off by squeezing on 2 tabs on the side and pull back. And we can remove it. Now we need to locate a fuse that only has power when the ignition is switched on. So I'm turning the ignition on now, off, on. So this 10 amp fuse right in the middle, right here, this is a perfect fuse for us to use. We'll remove that 10 amp fuse. Okay, this is the 10 amp fuse that we removed. This is the 10 amp fuse that comes with our kit. You can see how the one that comes with our kit has longer legs. The 10 amp fuse that we removed, we won't be able to use anymore with our Brake-Lite Relay Kit, so we'll replace it with another 10 amp fuse that's identical to the one that comes with our kit. We'll take our fuse tap. This side here will power our Brake-Lite relay. This section here closest to the bottom, closest to the legs, protects our original circuit where we removed our fuse. So we'll take one of our 10 amp fuses, put it in that spot, and the other 10 amp fuse will go in the spot for our relay. Now this red wire that comes with our relay, we'll strip off one end and we'll crimp it inside the already attached blue butt connector on our fuse tap. The other end we'll strip off and we'll attach one of our blue butt connectors, and that'll go to the red wire from our relay harness. Now our white wire off our relay socket is our ground. Take off the insulation, and we'll take our provided ring terminal, stick it onto the wire, and we'll crimp it into position. Now we need to attach this to our vehicle sheet metal. Now, I don't want to drill another hole into the vehicle and use the provided self-tapping screw. We can attach it to the support brace for our dash by removing this bolt right here. It is a 10mm bolt. We'll slide the ring terminal under the plastic, lining up the hole, and we'll reinstall the bolt. That'll give us a nice solid ground. Now we can plug back in our fuse tap to where the 10 amp fuse was that we removed. Now we'll plug our provided relay into the relay socket. It'll only go in one way, so just line up the tabs appropriately and push them together. Now we'll plug our stoplight switch back in. We went ahead and secured up the relay and all the loose wires underneath the dash with a couple of zip ties so we don't have to worry about any of the wires interfering with our feet while we're driving or coming in contact with any moving parts such as our pedals or our steering column. Now the cover over our fuse box we will not be reinstalling because it will require too much modification to it in order to make it fit with our fuse tap installed. That's not an issue because this cover will still be able to go back into place and protect it. And that completes our look at and showing you how to install the Roadmaster Brake-Lite Relay Kit for towed vehicles. part number RM-88400 on this 2011 Ford Edge. Thanks for watching. Click the link in our description below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com. And leave us a comment if you have any questions.